Good morning, everyone. This is Lara de Klerk here. This morning I'm going to be introducing the theme for the week to come. This week we're going to be focusing on answered prayers. And ultimately what this means, it's aligning our hearts with the Father and His will when it comes to our prayer lives. I like to call the topics that we're going to be exploring this week dangerous prayers. And the reason I want to call them dangerous prayers is that our hearts have to be so ready to speak these words, because as soon as we do, the Lord is going to use them and bring them to fruition in our lives. The dangerous prayer that I'm going to be focusing on this morning is, Father, glorify yourself through me. And the text I'm going to be taking it from is John 12, verses 27 to 28. Now my soul is troubled, Jesus says. And what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? But for this purpose I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name. This text represents the end of Jesus' public ministry. He is speaking to a group of Greeks who were seeking him. Being at the end of Jesus' public ministry, before we dive into the text, I just want to look at the life of Jesus and his ministry itself. Jesus' life and his ministry was completely uncomfortable and sacrificial. He went to the places that nobody else went to meet the people that nobody else would want to meet or be associated with, and to speak the words that would shock, shatter, and anger the hearts of the people. Jesus' prayers, his travels, his words, and ultimately his entire life was aligned with that of the Father's will. And this text that we're reading from is no different. It says that Jesus' soul was troubled. He knew what was to come, and he was anxious about that. Jesus is fully human when he came to this earth. He experienced the same things that we do. He feels the same things that we do. He has the same emotions that we do. So when we think that Jesus is above us when he came to this earth, no, he is fully human, and this explores something so beautiful about his character. He was troubled because he knew the pain, the discomforts, and the sacrifice that would come. This makes Jesus so relatable to our lives and the stuff that we go through. I'm going to go back to the text. And what shall I say? Save me from this hour? You see, Jesus could have been selfish. He could have sought his own comfort and his own will. He knew the things that were to come. And I think if any of us knew what Jesus knew, we would have ran far, far away. But Jesus didn't. He says, but for this purpose I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name. There is one purpose that unites all of us as Christians, and that is to glorify the Father. And often this is uncomfortable and it's sacrificial. It requires us to give of ourselves and often put our needs and our wants to the side to be able to fulfill the will of the Father. And that is why, as I said in the beginning, this is a dangerous prayer, asking the Lord to glorify himself through your lives. Because often we have to die to ourselves, our own wants and our own needs, for the greater will and the greater purpose. I know that you all know that a few years ago my dad got sick in 2013. And before that, I could say that our lives were really cushy and really comfortable. And there was not much sacrifice or dying to ourselves that had to take place. In 2013, when my dad became paralyzed, our lives completely changed. And my mom decided that she was not going to get a carer for him, but that she was going to be the full-time carer for my dad. So no nurses, no one coming in to help, that she was going to do that for him. And it was really difficult. It required her to die to herself, and it required her to sacrifice her needs and her wants. And I think there was a time a couple of months in where she just came to a point where I can't do this anymore. And I remember the day that Pastor Dave came over to our house, and I'll never forget the words that he spoke to my mom. He said, "Mags, you're not doing this for yourself, but unto the Lord, for him and for his glory." I think my mom really had a John 12 verses 27 moment. She really could have been selfish. She could have easily gotten a carer to look after my dad and to do the things that she felt that she wasn't able to do. But she knew that she was called not to glorify herself or to satisfy herself and her own needs, but she was called for the purpose to glorify the Father, and that changed everything. Praying difficult prayers, in essence, are difficult, and they may require a lot from us. But being aligned with the Father's heart and living a life for him and not ourselves brings in itself something that this world will never be able to provide for us. So, Father, glorify your name.